Folks, our next guest speaker is Jason Mercer. You probably have seen Jason before. He's on television, radio a lot as the Toronto Real Estate Board Director of Market Analysis and Services. So when the new numbers come out on what's happening in the Toronto area, he's the guy that usually interprets it for you. He gets all the data, and he's the guru that tells you what it means for the upcoming year. Jason is an economist by training as well, had been with PricewaterhouseCoopers and CHMC before coming on board with the Toronto Real Estate Board. Folks, next guest speaker, Jason Mercer.
Well, thanks very much, everybody. It's glad to be up here today. I want to thank Rob and Julia for inviting me. And I guess I'll touch upon right off the get-go, some of the comments that Mayor Jeff Lehman made in his statement that was read at the beginning of today's program, and his concerns around the supply, because we've talked a lot about the demand for ownership housing, whether we're talking about the Greater Toronto Area, Vancouver, or the surrounding areas around the GTA, like Barrie, like Kitchener, like Hamilton. Because the story's sort of been the same across the board, is that we're hearing about sort of record and near record levels of demand, and perhaps we need to do something about that. What we don't hear as much discussion around is on the supply side of things, because it is true. I mean, we saw in Barrie last year, we saw a new record for home sales reported by you, beat our members through your MLS system, and the issue is that those strong sales levels have been up against a very constrained supply of listings in the marketplace, and so it makes sense that we've seen a number of households, both born and brought up in the Barrie area, as well as people from the surrounding regions, be very interested in purchasing ownership housing in Barrie and some of the surrounding municipalities making up Simcoe County. But the issue is a lot of these people haven't been able to find, or have found it very difficult to find a home that meets their needs in the area, and there's been a lot of competition between home buyers as a result. Now, we'll talk about supply in a minute, but that's obviously led. We've seen very strong growth in home prices, and thinking about the GTA, I'll put my GTA hat on for a minute, because we have seen a lot of policies sort of pointed at the demand side. And one of those policies, certainly in Vancouver, and there has been, people have brought up the idea that perhaps we need to see a similar policy brought into place in the GTA, or even I've heard Ontario more broadly, and that's looking at the idea of foreign buyers, about the level of foreign buying activity, and is this one of the issues that's causing strong price growth in the Greater Toronto area? Is one of the issues that's causing people that would otherwise say purchase a home in the GTA looking at other regions surrounding the region, like Barrie, like Hamilton, like Kitchener? So the issue is when it comes to foreign buyers, what we don't have or didn't have was a lot of real hard empirical data on the issue. We had a lot of hypotheses saying, we have a lot of foreign buyers looking to purchase in Vancouver. Now that this tax has been implemented for the Greater Vancouver area, are we going to see more buyers moving out to the Toronto area, more foreign buyers who otherwise would have purchased in Vancouver? So at the end of last year, TREB contracted with Ipsos to undertake a third-party survey of its members, and basically asking, think about the number of deals that you've done acting on behalf of the buyer over the last year, and give us a sense as to what share of those home buyers were foreigners, where people either were foreign buyers, either not permanent residents or not Canadian citizens looking to purchase a home, and give us a sense of why they're buying. Well, first off, we found that the percentages are very, very low. On average, for the GTA as a whole, we were looking at a foreign buyer share of less than 5%, 4.9%. That ranged between 6% in regions like Halton in York, down to close to 1% in Durham. So that share is relatively low, relative to the number of sales that we saw last year, both in the GTA and the surrounding region. And I suggest as we look at the Simcoe County area and the Barrie area, that those shares would be similar, if not lower, than what we're seeing on this slide. So that kind of policy measure is not going to mitigate the strong demand that we're seeing, say in the Simcoe area, the Barrie area, quite frankly, it's really not going to mitigate the issue, especially when you're talking about on the price growth front, to any great degree in the Greater Toronto area. And credit where credit is due. I think both at the local level and the provincial level thus far, I think the realization certainly has been there that looking at a foreign buyers tax is not the way to go when we're talking about the housing market in the Greater Golden Horseshoe.
So when you think about Barrie, one of the key reasons why you're continuing to see strong demand for ownership housing is population growth. And it's been a pretty steady upward trend, not quite as strong in the post-recession period compared to pre-recession, but nonetheless, you've been seeing population growing somewhere in the neighborhood between 1.5% and 2% per year. But I think when you're thinking about Barrie in the context of the broader Greater Golden Horseshoe, what's interesting is the components of that population growth. So this chart here basically shows that population growth that you're seeing on a year-over-year basis is really coming from two components on net. Obviously, natural increase. So you are seeing more births than deaths in the Barrie area. But really, the real driver of population growth in Barrie is inter-regional migration, right? So people moving from other centers, for the most part in southern Ontario, to the Barrie area. And obviously, I don't think anyone in this room would argue, and I know a lot of you not only working in the Simcoe County area, but a lot of you also working in the northern part of the Greater Toronto area as well. I don't think anyone in this room would argue that a lot of that inter-regional migration has to do with the differential or difference in home prices between some parts of the Greater Toronto area and what we see in Barrie. Similar situation when I was with CMAC, covered a lot of other markets in South Central Ontario, looking at places like Kitchener and London and St. Catharines and Hamilton, and there was a similar story, and that was going on a decade ago. And so that's been sort of a continuing theme when you're talking about regional centers in the Greater Golden Horseshoe.
So the issue really isn't, it makes sense that we're seeing people looking to purchase homes in the Barrie area. But when I look at this chart, I see that it's really the same issue that we see in the Greater Toronto area that we're seeing unfold in Barrie. This is active listings. So this average active listings at the end of each month. And the big issue is that we've seen a steady decline really since we came out of the recession. And not unlike the Toronto area, we saw a real precipitous decline last year. Some of that has to do obviously with stronger absorptions as we're seeing record deals take place. But the other issue is that we're just not seeing as much inventory come online. New listings were flat to down on a year-over-year basis in Barrie last year, and I suggested as we move towards the end of the year, you all found that it was getting tougher and tougher to either bring on new listings in terms of your business, your brokerage, or find a new listing for your clients that are looking to purchase a home. And the issue is then that feeds through into inventory levels. From a peak in inventory levels since the turn of the new millennium of close to 7 months, as we went into the recession, we've seen those inventory levels on average last year dip below 2 months, right? So what we're saying there is that if we saw no new listings come onto the marketplace and we saw a similar level of sales, how long would it take to deplete all the standing inventory listed on VDAR's MLS system? And now we're looking at less than 2 months. This is an average for 2016. As we move to the end of last year, we're seeing that approach close to 1 month, and sort of digging into the data a little bit further. I mean, there are some areas where you're seeing around 1 month's worth of inventory. I don't think that's surprising. I mean, when you have the mayor commenting on a supply crisis in the Barrie area, well, that tells me that legitimizes these statistics and really speaks to the issue that we're facing. Because it is true, if the market were working efficiently, if the housing market were working efficiently, and we didn't have any policy issues affecting supply, we'd be seeing a lot more listings coming to the marketplace. Because who wouldn't want to take advantage of the strong equity growth that people have taken advantage of in their homes over the last few years? But the issue is that a lot of these households just are coming to the realization that I could list my house and I could sell it probably in the next couple of weeks, no problem. But I'm going to be able to find a place to buy in the neighborhood where I want my kids to go to school, where I'm part of the community. It's very difficult. And so it starts a bit of a vicious circle as well. We're seeing it in Toronto. I'm guessing that we're seeing it here in Barrie as well. We're seeing more and more households looking to renovate the home that they're already in rather than list it for sale. And obviously that has a couple of impacts. First and foremost, people aren't listing as soon as they otherwise would compared to the historic norm. And number two, you're changing the stock forever. Right? Because if you look at, say, an entry-level detached home that's now being renovated, you're seeing, value add to that house. So it's no longer, say, an entry-level detached home. And so you're also sort of changing the entry point into the market. Now, it sounds like we'll maybe mitigate some of that as we see, more sort of higher density, entry-level, low-rise home types coming online over the next couple of years as we see more home construction. The fact still remains is that the supply issue that we've seen, the inability to bring new lots on for development over the last few years, certainly since midway through since say 2005, 2006, that's come to bear certainly in the Greater Toronto area. It's come to bear in a lot of centres in the surrounding GTH as well. I'm sure we'll talk more about that as we move through. But the bottom line is that when you're seeing months of inventory below 2, the end result is an acceleration of price growth, right? The end result is seeing, the average home price approaching $500,000 in Barrie, and that's on the back of, 17, 18% year-over-year price growth last year, and we were approaching double-digit price growth at the end of 2015. So thinking forward through 2017, if you continue to see months of inventory running at, say, 1.5 to 2, in all likelihood, you're going to continue to see double-digit price growth. Now, that may not make sense from a long-term sort of trend perspective, and that's true, because obviously that starts to erode affordability, but the issue is that you're still in a situation in Barrie where the price point, regardless of the strong price growth, is certainly going to continue to attract buyers, whether it's within the Barrie area or from surrounding centres. And so without some mitigation on the supply front, you're going to continue to see strong demand. And while it does sound like there is more supply coming down the pipe, both on the low-rise and the high-rise side, when you're talking about this level of pent-up demand, and that's what you have. When you got 1.75 months worth of inventory, you got a lot of households that simply haven't been able to find a home that meets their needs. That's pent-up demand. That's people that would buy if they could find a house that met their needs. You're going to see some pretty quick absorptions. And you know what? It's not surprising. This is a little bit faint on your on the slide, but this is from Altus, and it's new home inventory by project type. The upper line, you're looking at low-rise home types, and you're looking at high-rise on the bottom. But the bottom line is that as we've seen inventory levels shrink on in the resale market, it's not surprising then that we see more and more absorptions as well as new home projects have come online. So even though we still have new home projects coming down the pipe over the next couple of years, a couple things to note. Number one, a lot of these projects are going to be pre-sold at sales centers. So it's not like you're going to have a wide swath of available inventory come online as these homes are produced. And number two, as these sales centers open, there's going to be strong absorptions. You're going to see a lot of people who just simply weren't able to find a home in the resale market within Barrie, who are right now living in Simcoe County or Barrie proper, are going to be visiting those sales centers en masse. And number two, people in Northern York region, people in South Simcoe County are going to hear that, hey, there's new home sales centers opening in Barrie. There's going to be some homes available, low-rise homes available in Simcoe County. Let's go take a look. And that continued interregional migration, net positive migration into Barrie is going to continue as well. And so, whether you're looking at the resale market or the new home market, the lack of inventory that we've seen unfold over the last few years has inevitably led not only to a strong price growth on the resale market side, but also on the new home front as well. And I think, it's not a short-term fix. It's easy to bring on policies at different levels of government that look at the demand side, whether you're talking about mortgage lending guidelines, whether you're talking about securitization guidelines, and that's really the lever that the federal government has. That as you get down, you move down the political spectrum to the provincial level, to the local level, there's a lot more policy moves, I think, that could be made, and I know Tim will talk more about it as well from a provincial perspective, but there's a lot more policy moves that could be made, I think, to look at alleviating some of the supply concerns. Whether we're talking about streamlining the process to bring new developments online, or looking at new innovative ways within built-up urban areas to bring more product online. I think there's a lot of different options that the different levels of government can consider as we move forward. But dealing with the supply issue is a longer-term issue. It's a longer-term fix. And so, as we look forward through 2017 and likely into 2018 as well, barring sort of an economic shock, that's broader than the housing market itself, it's difficult to see a scenario where you're not going to see, price growth well above the rate of inflation, just because of the demand for homes in the Barrie area from a lot of the surrounding regions as well, up against a very constrained supply, and even new supply coming online that more or less is going to be spoken for, before it's completed. Thanks very much.